Headlines of VTV News. Peoples and meritorious artists are our nation's precious assets. Prime Minister VietnamChina participated in the special summit in Melbourne, Australia, marking 50 years of relations between ASEAN and Australia. And later on in our world news, experts warn of cyber attacks following a Meta lockout.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello there, this is VTV News coming live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. The 10th ceremony for the People's Artist and Meritorious Artist was held on Wednesday morning. Attending the ceremony, State President Võ Văn Thưởng affirmed People's Artists and Meritorious Artists are truly the precious assets of the country. Regardless of age or ethnic background, they have all significant contributions to Vietnamese culture and the country's historic achievements.
State President Võ Văn Thưởng, alongside state and party leaders, honored 389 artists, including posthumous recognitions, at the ceremony. Out of these, 125 were bestowed with the People's Artist title. The theater domain saw the highest number of recipients, over 60, while the music sector celebrated more than 40 awardees. The age of recipients ranged from 40 to 94 years old. Additionally, 264 artists received the Meritorious Artist title, many of whom have significantly contributed to the arts and culture scene and are cherished by the public. Acknowledging the artists' contributions, the state president highlighted that artists across various disciplines have enriched the cultural and artistic landscape with their unique expressions and works. These contributions vividly mirror the nation's realities, steer society towards positive values, and play a crucial role in shaping the social and spiritual foundation.
I recommend implementing supportive policies for artists, ensuring they can sustain themselves through their profession. It's important to nurture young talent, particularly in traditional arts facing succession challenges. By creating a supportive environment, we encourage artists to delve into society's realities, uncovering and showcasing the nation's values and beauty. This approach helps advance traditional arts, fosters a love for life, and reflects the aspirations of our people.
State President Võ Văn Thưởng reiterated the importance of culture as a cornerstone of society's spiritual foundation and a key element in sustainable development. The state president called on ministries and local agencies to support and motivate artists to actively contribute and fulfill their social and civic responsibilities.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister VietnamChina participated in the special summit in Melbourne, Australia, marking 50 years of relations between ASEAN and Australia. This event serves as a platform for the leaders of the ASEAN nations and Australia to reflect on the past half-century of the relations while also establishing a roadmap for future development and cooperation.
The leaders of ASEAN and Australia expressed satisfaction with the achievements of cooperation and the dynamic development of the relationship in all fields, especially since the two sides established the strategic partnership in 2014 and upgraded it to comprehensive strategic partnership in 2021. In 2022, two-way trade turnover reached more than $101 billion, an increase of nearly 20% compared to 2021. Speaking at the plenary session, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh emphasized the special significance of the summit. He praised the close, long-standing relationship between ASEAN and Australia's cooperation and support for ASEAN over the past 50 years. In the coming time, the Prime Minister proposed 3 breakthroughs and 3 enhancements for bilateral relations. The strategy includes amplifying economic, trade, and investment cooperation to potentially double trade turnover within a decade, enhancing collaboration in developing high-quality human resources and labor, and advancing partnerships in science, technology, and innovation. This includes a focus on nurturing the digital economy, green and circular economies, the knowledge and sharing economies, and other burgeoning sectors. Regarding enhancements, first, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh suggested both sides need to enhance political trust and cooperation to ensure regional peace and security. Underscore the culture of dialogue and cooperation, promote trust building and preventive diplomacy, encourage major countries to responsibly contribute to the region. During the retreat, embodying the ethos of a shared vision and synergized resources for a collective action towards a peaceful, stable, and sustainable Indo-Pacific, the Vietnamese Prime Minister suggested 3 togethers for ASEAN and Australia. These include jointly fostering a united, self-reliant region resilient to shocks, advocating for a region that upholds and abides by international law, and shaping an open, inclusive, and integrated regional framework, emphasizing multilateralism and the central role of ASEAN.
Throughout the 2-day special summit marking the 50th anniversary of ASEAN-Australia ties, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh engaged with all 12 senior leaders from ASEAN nations, Australia, New Zealand, Timor-Leste, and the ASEAN Secretary-General. During these meetings, the Prime Minister extended invitations to the top officials of these countries to dispatch representatives at the ministerial level to the forthcoming ASEAN Future Forum set to take place in Hanoi this April.
Pleased to reunite with Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese looked forward to his official visit to Australia alongside his spouse. The Vietnamese Prime Minister suggested that both nations enhance their collaboration to elevate their bilateral ties and advance ASEAN-Australia relations to new levels.
In a meeting with Lao Prime Minister Sonexay Siphandone, the Vietnamese Prime Minister urged joint efforts to implement the agreements made by the leaders of both countries and assured Vietnam's support for Laos in successfully leading the ASEAN chairmanship in 2024.
In discussions with Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet, the Vietnamese Prime Minister suggested enhancing economic integration through infrastructure and policy coordination. Both leaders agreed to thoroughly prepare for upcoming high-level exchanges between the two countries this year.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh recommended bolstering collaboration across various sectors, including oil and gas, chemicals, agriculture, and the advancement of the halal food production industry when meeting with Brunei Sultan.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo advocated for increased rice trade and agricultural cooperation, while the Vietnamese Prime Minister urged for the rapid approval of documents by both nations' authorities to advance the enactment of existing agreements.
Thai Prime Minister Sretha Thavisin agreed with Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh to soon hold a joint cabinet meeting of the two countries in Hanoi and promote connection between the two economies.
Meeting with Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos, the Vietnamese Prime Minister proposed that the two countries cooperate closely in responding to climate change and in the agricultural sector.
Singapore's Prime Minister concurred with the Vietnamese Prime Minister on enhancing the Vietnam-Singapore Industrial Park's development and bolstering collaboration in digital and green transformations, digital economy, and population data management.
Meeting with Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim congratulated Vietnam on its rapid development in many fields. The two prime ministers agreed to promote high-level visits and deploy bilateral cooperation mechanisms and agreements.
New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, attending the summit at the invitation of Australia's Prime Minister, expressed eagerness to host Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh for an official visit, and praised Vietnam's significance within ASEAN, and committed to close collaboration with Vietnam and other ASEAN nations on regional matters.
Timor-Leste's Prime Minister Xanana Gusmao conveyed his desire for an official visit to Vietnam and valued Vietnam's backing for Timor-Leste's ASEAN membership bid. Both prime ministers consented to enhance collaboration based on their countries' respective strengths.
The ASEAN Secretary-General praised the work of Vietnamese officials at the ASEAN Secretariat, confirmed his attendance at the ASEAN Future Forum in Vietnam, and expressed hope that the forum would become an annual, leading platform for discussing ASEAN's future issues.
On Wednesday, Politburo member, Secretary of the party's Central Committee, Nguyễn Hòa Bình, who also serves as Chief Justice of the Supreme People's Court, held discussions with the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF, concerning the Juvenile Justice Law project. The meeting covered a range of topics, including strategies for diversion management, ensuring a fair and compassionate judicial process, and crafting policies relevant to the treatment of minors within the criminal justice system. Politburo member Nguyễn Hòa Bình emphasized the importance of UNICEF's continued collaboration and detailed feedback on each session of the draft law, with particular emphasis on fostering humane and supportive measures specifically tailored to minors. Vice State President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân hosted a meeting in the northern province of Bắc Ninh on March the 6th with female foreign ambassadors and chief representatives from international organizations in Vietnam on the occasion of the International Women's Day. The leader took this occasion to thank the ambassadors and representatives for their warm sentiments and contributions to Vietnam and its people, as well as their efforts to join hands with Vietnam in gaining important achievements. She expressed her hope that the ambassadors and representatives will continue to accompany, cooperate with, and support Vietnam in securing a rapid and sustainable socio-economic recovery, successfully implementing reform and international integration, and actively contributing to the common goals of the UN, including those in gender equality. The provincial planning of Nam Định is crafted with breakthrough thinking, long-term vision, prominent opportunities, and competitive advantages. That was the message from Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà at the conference announcing the province plan for the period 2021 to 2030 with a vision to 2050. The leader urged Nam Định province to draw inspiration from the successful development models of neighboring regions. He stressed the importance of ongoing innovation, harnessing internal resources, especially skilled human capital, seizing available opportunities, and forging a distinct path to establish Nam Định as a preferred investment destination. At the conference, Nam Định province granted registrations for 7 projects totaling nearly $420 million in registered capital. The province signed investment agreements with 9 investors to lead infrastructure development initiatives across industrial parks and ecotourism destinations. Coming up next, solutions sought to boost credit growth. And Vietnam seeks solutions to solve bottlenecks in rice production and trade.
When it comes to business, it's crucial to choose a smart location with global impact. And Vietnam might just be the location for you. Connect worldwide to advanced logistics networks. Smart Hub for technology and innovation. A dynamic business ecosystem. An environment with a competitive edge.
You're watching VTV News. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has signed official telegram number 18 dated March the 5th on managing credit growth in 2024. The directive calls for the State Bank of Vietnam to balance its management of credit, interest rates, and funds for the economy. A number of commercial banks have been on a fast lane to stimulate loan demand from individuals and businesses.
This commercial bank dedicates up to $6.5 billion as credit allocation for production and business activities. It has also cut interest rates to the lowest in recent years.
We have reduced mobilization interest rates and cut back on operating costs to facilitate future lending interest cuts. Our prioritized category of beneficiaries include businesses in priority sector, small and medium enterprises, and household businesses. Our interest rate is also at its lowest in years.
Many other commercial banks are also leveraging abundant capital sources and favorable interest policies to stimulate loan demands.
Our budget for loans has neared $486 million, with more than 400 million going to individual customers and the remaining 86 million for import-export enterprises. The latter has been dispersed in large quantity.
In addition to low interest rates, commercial banks have also offered various loan support services, including online lending and streamlined application procedures. As interest rates remain competitive across commercial banks, many businesses have had several loan options with favorable rates to choose from.
We are being offered an annual interest rate of 5.2% by some banks. That is even lower than what we used to have during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was 6.8%.
Experts believe that it's normal for credit demands to stay stagnant in the first few months of the year. However, it is expected to pick up pace as production recovers.
To ensure credit growth, banks may need to keep tabs on the demand and performance of businesses with regards to the general cash flow.
In 2024, credit limits were assigned to commercial banks early. This translates to more urgent need to promote and distribute loan capital for these banks. Moreover, commercial banks have been tasked with a heavier goal of reaching 15% in credit growth, equivalent to successful disbursement of $81 billion.
In pursuit of establishing Vietnam as a logistics hub connecting China and ASEAN, Viettel Post Corporation, a subsidiary of Viettel Military Telecommunications Industry Group, has entered into a collaboration agreement with the Nanning city government in China. Under this agreement, Viettel Post will spearhead the development of two significant logistics centers in China, the ASEAN-China Fruit Trading Center in Pingshan City and the Logistics Center in Nanning. These centers will provide comprehensive cross-border transportation services, including railways, roads, and waterways. This collaborative effort aims to optimize costs, reduce transit durations, and enhance competitiveness for Vietnamese goods. Ultimately, this initiative will promote enhanced connectivity among ASEAN nations and China, fostering regional economic integration. Several localities in the Mekong Delta have reported slumping rice falls during the recent winter-spring crop, with thousands of traders abandoning their rice purchase deals. Experts have warned of lost opportunities for the industry if the problem with rice production remain unsolved. In response, the Vietnamese government has assigned competent authorities to address bottlenecks in rice production and trade. These solutions are vital in ensuring stable supply to markets with growing demand for the product.
Many businesses agreed that sales of Vietnamese rice have had a price advantage due to lasting impacts of India's rice export ban. It also drove demands for Vietnamese rice at any price. However, in 2024, farmers may have to adapt to the purchasing price of importing countries.
We had to come to terms with the desired price set by Indonesia and Malaysia in order to sign the export deals. Currently, farmers can find themselves cashing in on profits with the current price, given that input costs only make up a half of selling prices.
In addition to maintaining a stable rice price, the current value chain for rice requires urgent improvements from processing, purchasing, to storage. This goes hand in hand with crop timing. According to Directive Number 10 issued by the Prime Minister, the inclusion of traders into the value chain is necessary to address the problems with abandoned rice deals.
We need a more thorough review of traders' roles and obligations. It will be necessary if they were to enter the value chain, thus ensure support for them. Right now, farmers tend to sign contracts with businesses then request loans using said contracts. The current workings of the industry is time-consuming. If we can have a firm grasp of crop timing and price-oriented supply, then it will be a lot easier.
The upcoming winter-fall crop is projected to face strong headwinds as saline intrusion and drought persists. Therefore, solutions aimed at rice storage and price stabilization earlier on are important. According to experts, effective solutions along with the 1 million hectare low-emission rice project can bring Vietnam closer to its revenue target.
In honor of the historic Dien Bien Phu victory 70 years ago, Dien Bien Province and Hanoi Central Odontostomatology Hospital joined forces to deliver vital medical services for 732 veterans and former youth volunteers, as well as orthopedic surgery. The hospital also donated dental chairs and equipment to the Center for Disease Control and General Hospital of Dien Bien Province. In addition, nearly 1,000 students at Tô Vĩnh Diện Primary School in Điện Biên City received dental examinations and treatment. The hospital provided oral health care training to 500 school medical staff members across Điện Biên Province. In February, Vietnam encountered and managed 862 cyber attacks that disrupted its information system, according to the Ministry of Information and Communications. This number is nearly half of what it was during the same period last year. However, over 432,000 computer addresses or IPs were infected with viruses, marking a 13% increase from February of the previous year. Additionally, the Department of Information Security identified illegal advertisements on 43 portals of ministries, branches, provinces, and cities, and issued warnings to the relevant units to address the issue promptly. In recent years, the mangrove forests along Vietnam's coast have significantly expanded. The key to conserving and restoring these mangroves is the involvement of local communities. Quảng Ninh Province, which has the largest area of mangrove forest in the northern region, has added over 700 hectares of new mangrove forests. This increase brings the total area of mangrove forest in the province to more than 19,000 hectares. When the tide receded, Vinh took a rake to search for snails and crabs. Over the past 12 years, her family and others have adapted by sustainably catching seafood in mangrove forests. These local mangrove forests have enabled residents to sustain their livelihoods and increase their income.
I catch marine animals, except for the young or smaller ones, as we allow them to continue to grow and reproduce.
12 years ago, this area was used for aquaculture through ponds and lagoons. However, local authorities have since implemented a plan to restore and develop mangrove forests here.
We raised local awareness about mangrove forest protection and established management teams in each village. Each person is encouraged to join hands in protecting mangrove forests.
In many locations, the government plants mangrove forests or assigns their protection to forest management boards. However, in Quảng Ninh Province, the responsibility for protecting and expanding mangrove forests is given to the local people.
The protection and expansion of mangrove forests are expected to contribute to maintaining the livelihoods of local people.
The restoration, protection, and development of mangrove forests in Quảng Ninh Province have been made possible through joint efforts by both authorities and local people. As a result, farmers can maintain their livelihoods and also adapt to climate change. Coming up next in our world news, Japan malls doubling cap on skilled foreign workers. And experts warn of cyber attacks following Meta lockout. Australia and Laos on Wednesday signed an agreement elevating bilateral ties to a comprehensive partnership. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese signed the agreement with his Lao counterpart Sonexay Sisiphandone on the sidelines of the ASEAN-Australia Special Summit. The partnership is expected to drive bilateral cooperation across 4 pillars, reflecting the two countries' shared priorities for the future: people education and human resource development, economics, trade and investment, climate change, energy, and defense and law enforcement. Australia's Southeast Asia Economic Strategy to 2040 identified agriculture and food, resources and green energy as key areas of opportunity for Australian business in Laos. The comprehensive partnership will also support Laos to minimize sustainable development in these sectors. The Japanese government is considering doubling the number of foreigners eligible for skilled worker visas in the 5-year period starting fiscal 2024. The limit will be raised to over 800,000, more than double the current 5-year cap at 345,000. This is part of Japan's efforts to address the mounting shortages of labor in various sectors. Specified workers can currently work in one of 16 fields, including wood manufacturing, construction and forestry. Most hold Type 1 status for highly skilled workers, which allows them to work in Japan for up to 5 years. Meanwhile, Type 2 effectively enables holders to live in the country permanently. According to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, Japan will need 6.74 million more skilled foreign workers by 2040 to fulfill its developmental goals. Facebook, Instagram, and Threads were down on Tuesday evening Vietnam time, with hundreds of thousands of users reporting sudden lockouts from their accounts. Meta spokesperson Andy Stone said the group has resolved the technical issue that caused the 2-hour blackout, while extending its apology to affected users. The White House National Security Council was monitoring the incident and not aware of any specific malicious cyber activity at this time. Some cybersecurity experts also warned of possible frauds following the heat of the incident, including fake account recovery instructions. Therefore, users of Meta-owned platforms are advised to exercise caution. A large group of young Chinese women are turning to virtual partners for ideal companionship. Many have reported feeling better about themselves, while few expressed their hope to maintain the virtual bonds for constant emotional support. This growing trend reflects a popular coping mechanisms among Chinese young people, as the fast pace of life and isolation drive many to seek solace online.
Wang Xiuting, a 22-year-old student in Beijing, is happily in love with the man of her dream. He is kind, empathetic, and always available, except he is not real. The virtual boyfriend was the work of an artificial intelligence chatbot named Wantok. Not everyone can be there for me and talk to me 24/7, but my virtual boyfriend can. That basically makes us a couple. Artificial intelligence gradually adapts to the user's personality, remembering what they say and adjusting its speech accordingly. There are hundreds of characters available, but users can also customize their perfect lover according to age, values, identity, and hobbies. I gave my virtual boyfriend the qualities I look for in an ideal partner and the relationship I want with him. It gives me emotional support. Wang said she started to turn into virtual dating after multiple failed attempts at real-life romance. This struggle may be relatable for many Chinese youths, given their adulthood pressure. Many have confided in virtual boyfriends or girlfriends with their emotions as a form of escapism from uneventful city life.
Everyone experiences the complexities of life, loneliness, and is not necessarily lucky enough to have a friend or family nearby who can listen to them 24 hours a day.
Some Chinese tech companies have run into trouble in the past for the illegal use of users' data. Despite the risks, users say they are driven by a desire for companionship because China's fast pace of life and urban isolation make loneliness an issue for many.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4go. See you again at 3 p.m. local time. Goodbye for now.